And welcome back to the Pattymaczachshow. My name is Justin.
My name is Zach.
I'm Patrick.
We're very excited to be talking with you. Announcement. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts now, so if you haven't seen the first episode, go watch it now.
That's right. So we have a lot to talk about today. Very excited. First podcast did very well. We got tons of views, tons of listens all over. We're going viral. Okay. And today we're going to start off by talking about anxiety.
Yeah.
Right. So I think sports comes with a lot of anxiety at sometimes, especially when we have to perform at a high level and in important situations, right? So we're going to talk about our experiences with it and maybe, advice and what we learned from our experiences with it.
All right, well, I'll start off.
You do that.
I gotta be honest, I get pretty anxious every single time before every single game. Butterflies. And one thing that's really important, I think, is to work your butt off in the off season so that when you get to that moment, you're confident in your abilities. And also, if you get in a tough situation, just tell yourself in your head over and over that you can do it and you will do it. That's what I usually do.
Yeah, I agree. I think the whole message of, you just got to believe you can and visualize it. I don't really believe in that because, there's been times I've done that and I've gone out there and absolutely sucked. But then there's also been times where I'm not confident or not necessarily fully confident, but I know that I've worked very hard in the off season and I've prepared very hard for this moment. And then I go out and shove.
I have to agree a little bit. In those very anxious situations, let's say championship game, state championship game, runner on second, 2 outs, and you're up to bat. I mean, the one thing that doesn't come to my mind is that, I've worked so hard in the off season. That's one thing that personally doesn't come to mind. But in your head, I mean, personally for me, I always stand there in the box, look at my bat, and try and just take a deep breath for 5 seconds. Just try to relax, tell myself relax, and just trust myself. Because I think every time that I go into a game that I put in the work in order to do well, obviously, given the circumstance. And I mean, there really is nothing you can do besides staying confident. And whenever you get those anxious situations, whether you're on the mound or in the box and you're feeling the butterflies or your legs are tingling a little bit, I think the best thing you can do is just step back for a second and take a deep breath. Try and slow your heart rate down and just focus on the objective.
Right. I think that's true. But what I was talking about is like obviously when you're in the game or when you're in these high stress situations, you're not thinking about, your preparation. You're thinking about, okay, I have to hit right now. I have to throw strikes right now. I have to get this batter out. You're not thinking about anything else. And but what I'm saying with the preparation stuff is you'll have these thoughts oh, I need to do this. And then you'll surprise yourself a little bit. You'll be like, oh, I just dotted that pitch up. I can do this,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but my point was I wasn't trying to say that you should think about the work you've done in the off season. I'm just saying that in my mind mentally, I think to myself, just trust yourself, trust my hands, trust what I'm doing, trust what I'm been working towards this moment. And usually, I mean, it should pay off, whether you have to throw that good pitch, have that good hit, or whatever comes to the time. I just think that relaxing, trying to slow down your heart rate through breathing or any other mental thoughts, I think is your best way to go about those situations for sure.
I agree. I think in the moment, yes. I think those are the biggest things. I do think though, step one has to be working hard though. I feel like I feel like it does depend on the individual though. Because I feel like for me, I have to be extremely prepared, where I feel like I'm not prepared at all.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, Justin, you were telling me when we were training the other day, you almost wish you weren't as smart in baseball as you were because you know all these things about training and baseball. You have to be at a certain level to know you can perform. But someone who's maybe not as experienced with like training, they don't know. They think maybe, oh, I didn't prepare that much in off season, but it won't affect me. I'm just going to go out there and do what I do, you know?
Yeah, ignorance is bliss sometimes.
That's true.
That's true.
And about anxiety, I mean, like it's funny because my senior year of high school, I was coming off a shoulder injury. I'm a pitcher by trade, so I wasn't pitching too much really. And my high school team started doing really well. On senior day, I got to hit like after not hitting all season, and I hit pretty well. And then the first game of the playoffs, I was hitting, and I kept performing hitting without pitching, even though I consider myself a pitcher. And I kind of took hitting as a joke. I'm like, haha, I'm hitting. But eventually it got pretty serious. Eventually, I was hitting cleanup in the state championship, and I wasn't even nervous because I didn't even feel the pressure. I'm like, I'm a pitcher. Doesn't matter if I strike out. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool how like the expectations you have on yourself like affect the pressure you have. Because I felt no pressure, and it was a state championship, you know?
I have to agree with that. I think of all the main sports or just any sport in general, that mental toughness is as important in baseball as having the physical skill yourself. I mean, I would say that like obviously given like high pressure situations and other sports, like, you know, you're tied game and you have one free throw left, you're on the free throw line for basketball, it's just as high pressure as, like I mentioned the situation before, you have runner on second, 2 outs, tied ball game, bottom of the ninth. But at the same time, I think it always just comes down to breathing and trust in what you can do. I mean, you don't have to be the most physically advanced to succeed in baseball. You don't have to be the most athletic, but you, at the same time, you need to be confident in what you're doing. And I mean, between freshman me and senior me in high school, I mean, yes, there was a little bit of a difference in confidence, obviously, because I mean, senior year, I was a very mature baseball player. Freshman year, I mean, a 15-year-old me, not as mature, not fully built in my body. But mentally, it's just you have to stay tough and you have to stay smart in your mind in order to try and just to do well in these high pressure situations. If not, I mean, you basically lose it for yourself at that point. You don't even give yourself a chance.
Yeah, the moments go by really quick. You got to be able to slow it down.
Even
Absolutely.
thinking about this stuff gets me kind of fired up. Like I can feel like thinking about these situations like, oh, second left, you have to make this free throw, or you're coming up, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, whatever. Like it gets like just thinking about it gets the butterflies going. And these situations are like why we play sports. But when you get in these situations, it's life or death, really. Like, and I was listening to Trevor Bauer talk about it recently. He's like, you have to embrace it. You can't try and suppress that emotion. I don't know. It's a really cool feeling, and I hope I get to experience it again soon.
Absolutely.
What were you saying, Justin?
But then again, remember, what we do is easy.
That's true. Yeah. There's
Absolutely.
people out there who, you know, we do all this just to play well in a game. Like there's people out there literally at war, people who are actually in life or death situations, and these people are the real like high performers. We're just playing a game. The stakes are so low.
Yeah, I mean, to add to that, we're playing a child's game, dreaming of a situation that we were 6 years old. I mean, you can't say whenever you were younger you weren't dreaming that you were in bottom of the ninth of the World Series and you're up to bat with the potential winning run on second base or anything like that. I mean, those types of situations don't compare to war or anything like that. But at the same time, you do have that mentality in your mind, and your mentality often determines your success, I would argue. As I became more confident as a player, especially through high school, I started doing better. I mean, half the time, I'd say the game is more mental than anything.
I think that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. When I pitch, I definitely like I can think back to you know, the summers where I would have to go to college camps and or like showcases and have to pitch basically for my future, right? Like if I don't pitch well, I'm not going to get to go to this college. And I remember thinking like I could feel it, you know. I'd try and stay a little calm, but at the same time, I wanted to be hyped up. I was thinking of stuff that made me mad, stuff that made my adrenaline go crazy. And sometimes it helped, sometimes it didn't, but I don't know. You got to find that balance, I guess.
Definitely takes a situation or two for you to figure out what works for you mentally. Because, I mean, for me personally, I get so hyped up. I mean, if it's a high adrenaline situation, my legs will be shaking in the box. But I have to calm myself down, just breathe, try to slow my heart rate down, make my legs not shake, and just focus on the objective, because you can't let the moment take the full control over your body, because you can't be so hyped up and be so out in front on a pitch and just roll over and blow it. I mean, you have to relax and continue to be competitive.
Right, that's a fact. That brought a memory to my head. In my senior year of high school, I had to start, like I mentioned, I was coming off a shoulder injury. I didn't get a full off season to prepare. Like I started throwing basically in like March. So I'm out there and I'm trying to compete, right? But my body was just shaking and I couldn't do anything about it. So I got pulled in like 1 or 2 innings because I just couldn't stop shaking, and I just didn't do well. Like the fans couldn't see me shaking, but I that's all I could think about. Like, I'm shaking, stop shaking. But it's like you can't do anything about it, really.
No, yeah. This also brings me to another thing. Like in game moments, like let's say you're in the field and you make like an error. Like you can't let that continue to hurt you. Like I always think to myself, not too high, not too low. Stay middle of the road. I don't know about what y'all.
Yeah, I mean, Crampton, you probably know this better than anything, but I remember like back when I used to play like third base when I was 12. I mean, there's not many feelings worse on the baseball field than making an error. It's just an empty feeling in your stomach, right?
No, absolutely. Whenever I was younger and we moved up to the big field, so obviously after 13 years old, I mean, you're playing 60, 90 after playing Little League or travel ball distance your entire life. I mean, that's a big change. And to see individuals, I mean, whenever I was 12, I was like 5 foot. I mean, 5 foot is not a big 12-year-old. And I'm going up against other guys that literally, there was one time I faced a dude that was 6'5" and throwing 85 at the age of 13. I mean, do you think I succeeded off that? I mean, making errors against type of stuff like that just was like belittling. But at the time, I knew it was part of maturing at that given level, because, I mean, I'm playing on the same size field as there are 30-year-olds right now that are getting paid to do the game. But at the same time, you just need to trust the process in those situations. And just after experiencing a couple of those, you eventually get the hang of it and you will come through. That's all I have to say based off my experience. I mean, I still play infield, but there's definitely been times where I make an error, I make a bad throw, and then look at it and I'm like, just trying not to get down on myself. It is really just comes down to mental toughness in that scenario.
Viewpoint on this, like when a fielder on your team makes an error, what thought goes through your head?
This guy sucks. But yeah. I mean, we've all been there. We've all been on both sides of that.
When I feel like that was my thought process like a few years ago. But like I feel like recently, if somebody on my team makes an error, I'm like, I know how shitty he feels right now.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. And like the path of baseball travels, bouncing off the dirt, bouncing off a bat, it's so unpredictable. And these guys, I know my teammates work really hard to make these plays, and I don't fault them really at all for making bad plays. But there's some guys who are just like impress you so much. I mean, we know our shortstop from last year. He made every play. I don't know how he did it. Like the craziest plays, right? And it's just, I don't know what is, I'd be interested to know what his mentality towards like fielding is.
No, absolutely. I mean, obviously I don't pitch now. I'm a position player in college, but I just remember that I made my big stride whenever I was pitching in high school, based on the fact that it motivated me whenever a player behind me made an error, because I know that obviously they don't intentionally make to do it. I mean, they don't intentionally mean to do it, but at the same time, it makes me feel like I need to step up and make that big pitch or something to get us out of the inning. And it just, once again, mentality.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Patty and I used to be big time hitters.
Right. I mean, I mentioned a little bit how I hit in high school. But yeah, Justin, what about you? You used to hit a lot, huh?
Well, I hit up until I got like a serious injury. Like when I had to get surgery, the coach pretty much gave me a choice. Like I want to hit or pitch. But I was always decent. I never had like serious pop or anything. But I would be like a gap to gap or like hit for high average kind of guy.
And you would try and just hit like line drives, right?
Well, obviously I was trying to hit nukes, but they just turned out to be nukes, you know.
Yeah. So Crampton, you were a pitcher in high school, right?
Yes. On my high school team, I pitched a decent amount. My junior and senior year, I pitched 40 innings. And my sophomore year, I pitched about 25. Given the fact that we had a smaller roster at a private school, I mean, my private school was 8th through 12th grade, and we only had like 220 students total. So, I mean, as you can imagine, the roster for the baseball team wasn't even 20 members. So, I mean, me and other position players had to step up in those scenarios. And whenever I went out there, I mean, I usually could throw the ball accurate. And I mean, I've always had a stronger arm for my age. I mean, I'm not going to say I was out there throwing smoke or anything like that, but I think slowly as I got older, I started to learn how to pitch. I mean, by my senior year, I threw 4 different pitches, and I just
What did I throw now?
I succeeded. I mean, yeah. I mean, I threw a 2-seamer / sinker. I threw obviously a 4-seamer. I threw a changeup. I threw a curveball. And then I threw like a pitch that I would call a slutter, but it's kind of like a slider cutter mix because, I mean, sometimes it would move different than others. It was just kind of the grip that I threw with. I would just mess with arm angles. I mean, given that I'm an infielder, obviously make throws sidearm, even submarines on slow rollers. So I kind of just mess with the arm angle a little bit and then mess with the break. But, I mean, those times you just adapt to be successful.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say 4 of those 5 pitches probably moved pretty similarly. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, my 2-seamer / sinker and changeup moved the same way, and then obviously curveball and slider moved the same way. But at the same time, they were different speeds, so I could throw people off.
Right. I was joking, but yeah, it's definitely I definitely know that shortstops for whatever reason in high school are pretty good pitchers. Like they just have that mentality, I feel like, where they can come in from shortstop at any moment and just get on the mound and get people out. Like from my experience, I don't know why that is, but
yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, for me, like we pitched for our conference championship game. I started pitching, and I mean, I wasn't a PO, but I went 6 1/3 innings, and yeah. I mean, it's just mentality at that point.
I mean, look at Jacob deGrom.
That's
very
true.
True.
He
Absolutely.
was a shortstop and left-handed hitter in college, and then started pitching. Who just threw his hardest pitch ever this past weekend, right? It was 102.2. And he does not look like a bodybuilder. Surprise, surprise.
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
No, I'm
there
sure
is no ideal body. There is no ideal body for pitching, though. I mean, you can admit. I mean, there are people jacked and stuff, but
I do agree. But I also don't think that like Larry Wheels is gonna.
No, I think Larry Wheels probably top. I mean, we don't know if he played baseball as a kid, but I'd give him 65, 70.
I could probably beat him left-handed. I'll say that.
Yeah. You just threw some left-handed balls as hard as possible the other day. What did you hit? Like 65?
Yeah, 65.
Damn.
That's not bad at all, honestly. If I threw left-handed, I'd probably hit 40.
Yeah, I threw some left-handed. Didn't I hit one that was like 42 maybe?
42, yeah. It was huge.
42. Pretty good. Pretty good. I think I might have to switch to left-handed, honestly. We'll see. I throw.
A good starting point to talk about youth sports.
Right. So we were all multi-sport athletes as kids. I guess I'll start saying what sports I played. I played soccer for a little bit. Only knew how to toe ball it. I played basketball because I was tall. Everyone plays basketball, but I had some success early just because I was tall. And then baseball, and I think that's about it. I can't remember anything else. What about you, Justin?
Played baseball, basketball. I played wrestling. I did wrestling for a while. Played football 1 year. I ran cross country a few years. I think I did track 1 year.
Wow.
You really tried it all.
Except soccer, because I'm not. Well, I won't say.
What about you, Crampton? What sports have you played as a kid?
Whenever I was 5 years old, I tried soccer, but that was the last year I did that.
You quit. You quit at 5 years old.
Oh, absolutely. I thought it was super boring. But besides that, I did play basketball up until my sophomore year of high school. The only reason I really stopped is because we had a very elite basketball team that would send guys to big D1 schools. We had 7-footers and all that we would recruit even from across the world. I mean, we had kids from Lithuania and stuff that would show up based on our high school coach. Our high school coach actually was a assistant to Stu Vetter, which coached like Kevin Durant and company in high school. But I tried football out for a year. It was whenever I was 12. I like playing linebacker. I played linebacker, but I also played tight end. But at 12 years old, as you can imagine, we mainly ran the ball, so I didn't really find it that fun, considering we never passed. And obviously, I played baseball. I played baseball ever since I was 5 as well. And yeah, that's about it.
Right. So I think a big debate, well, not debate, but something a lot of people say I've seen in the baseball world is maybe that kids should play multiple sports, right? Justin, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty important. I think early professionalism is a serious thing in baseball. I think people get too serious about it too soon.
And why is it bad that they specialize in it so early?
Smart people, the actual scientists, the doctors, have actually said that this is the top 3 reason. It's called an epidemic because there's so many surgeries that have to be done. So you should probably play multiple sports. If smart people say to do it, you should probably do it.
Yeah, but I've also seen people say, you look at people who played multiple sports and you think, oh, well, they're such good athletes because they played multiple sports. But it could, like Bo Jackson, Sanders, and like others. But maybe they play multiple sports and they're successful in multiple sports because they're such good athletes, right?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's very true.
But yeah, I mean, if you have a kid, you should probably take him swimming lessons, take him soccer lessons, take him to wrestling class, whatever.
That's another thing. You can't force your kid to play a sport if he doesn't want to play it.
Right. Just give him a bunch of options. And also, I mean, I think you can play baseball year-round your whole life and avoid injuries. It's just that dumb travel ball coaches who think, oh, let's win this 9U 4th of July tournament, and I'm going to throw my ace 2 days in a row for 6 innings. Whatever.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It actually happened, I think, to all of us. Like, we've either experienced that or definitely thrown too much in too short a time, right?
At that age, I mean, you're so like, I mean, you cannot at the age of 12 go out there and throw 100 pitches and then expect to go back the next day and pitch at all. I mean, you're at such a young age, you're so fragile. At that point, I mean, those games don't even matter. You're like 12 years old. Like, that's not going to break or make your career
Right.
in
And
terms
even
of
if
college or anything.
And even if it's okay, he throws 85 pitches or whatever the limit is the Saturday of the tournament, and then you're going to have 3 games on Sunday, and he's going to be playing left field. He's going to, each game's 6 innings. He's going to be throwing 10 pitches every inning, or 10 throws every inning to warm up his arm. He's going to be warming up before the game, throwing at least 20 throws. He's going to throw 100 throws the next day. And if there's a play at the plate, he's going to chuck it as hard as he can to the plate. Maybe 2 times. Like he's throwing. Like we have to do something other than just say, oh, you can't pitch. Because maybe it would even be better if he pitched the second day as opposed to throwing 100 plus throws in the outfield, right?
Absolutely. I mean, at that age, I mean, I understand competitiveness. And obviously, like 12-year-old me wanted to win every game I played. But at the same time, from a coaching perspective, you can't just send the same 12-year-old out there on the mound every time. I mean, at that age, they're just throwing. And, I mean, they probably don't have that good of form either because they're not matured enough to be able to work on their form or any such thing. And they shouldn't be doing anything too advanced. I mean, you have 8-year-olds now that are throwing curveballs and stuff like that, which are also putting additional stress on their arm, and that's not even developed. I mean, this type of stuff is why I am a big supporter of multi-sport athletes, because I think not only to increase your athleticism, but it gives you multiple skills. I mean, playing basketball until my sophomore year of high school, I mean, basketball is very different from baseball. I mean, obviously you have a little bit of hand-eye in baseball and basketball, dribbling and fielding a ball, but at the same time, like the lateral movement and the conditioning aspects, I mean, there are benefits to building you as a young athlete. But at the same time, I believe in such specialization once you're matured.
Right. One problem, though, with playing multiple sports is so you're going to play baseball in the spring and summer. Then you're going to stop throwing until March. And then on the first day of March or whatever it is, you're going to have to try out. You're going to have to throw. You're going to have to throw as hard as possible. There's no on-ramp period. Maybe you play fall baseball, so you stop throwing in October, and you take that whole winter off. And then the first day of spring, you're expected to try out. You probably started throwing 2 weeks before then to warm up your arm or whatever. That's just not enough to start throwing 100% on the first day of tryouts. And one thing about the curveballs, I've seen smart people say don't throw curveballs until you're X age, but I've also seen people say, done research, said that curveballs are less stressful on your arm. So I don't know if I don't know.
I don't know. Personally, I mean, I don't know about you, J-Mac and Patty, but whenever I was younger and I would figure out how to throw a curveball, because, I mean, I was pitching at the time, I threw they called it a karate curveball. And essentially, rather than like having the hard pull motion whenever you throw a curveball, you basically threw it like a football based on your grip, and it would have movement. I mean, I think that there is where you benefit in terms of like putting less stress on your arm just by altering your throwing motion a little bit, but at the same time, not putting stress on your elbow at that young age.
Well, here's what I agree with what Patty was saying, and I think the biggest problem is you got to educate coaches more so that they know what's good for the kids. And as far as curveballs go, I feel like it's not really the curveball that's the problem. I feel like they don't know how to throw a curveball. So.
Well, I think that's our point more than anything. It's not necessarily that throwing curveballs is a bad thing, but at such a young age that if they don't know how to throw a curveball and they're just trying to make a ball spin, it can just add stress to an elbow that's not close to maturing yet.
You don't even need a curveball. Like basketball changeup, you can shove and 9U.
That's very true.
If you throw strikes, you can shove and 9U.
I'm a big believer in changeups. especially at a young age, I think changeups are most like practical pitch to throw. Like obviously they don't have the greatest break or anything like that as a slider or curveball shows. But at that young of an age, it's not even about a break at that point. It's about deception between your fastball and your changeup speed.
Yeah, and I promise you, when you're older, you're gonna wish you had a good changeup.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, it's probably hard to throw a good changeup at 46 or 50 feet, though.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Classic. All right. Well, let's talk some sleep. I think, sleep is a big thing to get. You should probably be doing it well because it affects your whole life. And I mean, as student athletes, it's hard for us to get sleep or quality sleep. But I don't know. What about you, Justin? What's your sleep like?
Here's the thing about sleep. I think a lot of people say, "Oh, you have to get to bed by a certain time," which I don't think is true. I understand why they're saying it because I think for most people that's what they need to do probably. But because it depends on your life schedule. But I think most people, it's just the amount of sleep you're getting. Like if you're not getting enough of it, you should keep you should count it as sleep debt. So whatever you didn't get, you got to get it the next night. Like sleep debt.
I don't believe in that. I don't think that's actually how it is. It's no. If you sleep one night, 6 hours, you don't have to sleep 10 the next night. I don't think that's how it works, is it?
I don't think that's directly how it works, but over time, you cannot continue to sleep 6 hours and expect to be a recovered athlete without eventually catching a couple extra hours of sleep in order to make up for it, like that extra recovery period that you missed previously.
Maybe.
Well, here's what I think. It's important for testosterone and many other things.
And why is testosterone important? Why is it important?
I'm not going to speak on that, but you know why it's important.
Well,
although Justin may not speak on it, I will. Being a male athlete, testosterone is the growth hormone. Obviously, if you want to get better naturally, you must try to find ways to increase your testosterone.
Wait, hold on. There's something called human growth hormone. Testosterone is not human growth hormone.
Okay. Sorry, but I did not mean to say it in that sense, but testosterone is essential in trying to build muscle and other aspects of your life.
Yeah, basically, if you have low testosterone, like, you're unhealthy. First you have to be a human, and then you have to be a good baseball player. You can't be a good baseball player without being a healthy person, right? So yeah, it's important. And sleep, if you get 6 hours a night, your testosterone's what was it? Something about if you get 6 hours of sleep for 7 days, your testosterone, if you're 20 years old, then becomes that of a 30-year-old's, which is pretty significant drop off.
Yeah, that's not good.
And also, your likelihood of getting injured is so much higher if you get 6 hours of sleep at night.
Yes. Recovery is everything for young athletes like us, especially, speaking on behalf of our earlier topic of like multi-sport athletes, whenever you're younger, you're putting so much stress on yourself because these sports that you do, like if you're playing football and you're playing fall baseball at the same time, like that is a lot of stress on your body at a young age. You need to make sure that you're getting sleep in order to not injure yourself and create maybe even longer, like a longevity of injuries whenever you're older, putting stress because a lot of people I don't know if this is necessarily true, but from some of the smarter baseball people I've heard, most of the time whenever major leaguers get to obviously major league or minor league, whenever they get Tommy John, it's based off the stresses they had as a child or in high school rather than what they're actually doing in the minors. based on poor form and obviously maturing level. But I mean, I don't know what you guys think.
Can I go back to the sleep thing real quick?
Go back to it.
Yes, most certainly.
Brandon Marcello. Go. Look at this stuff.
Who?
Brandon Marcello. Chris, you did a podcast with him.
Okay.
He's a big believer in sleep debt.
Okay.
But not really because like, oh, one night you got to get it the next night, but I kind of misspoke. But it was more like over a long period of time. Like it adds up, you know.
That's true. I agree. Yeah. Okay. Didn't you say, Justin, you saw something that said if sleep was a supplement, it would be banned or something? Didn't you tell me something like that?
Say that again?
Maybe it was you, but someone was telling me they saw someone say if sleep was a supplement, it would be banned. You know, because it's that like effective.
Yeah, I think I've heard that.
Right. So going off supplements, I know I take a few. I take, just like a men's 1-a-day vitamin, except I take 2 or 3 because I'm a big man, and why not? I also take creatine, monohydrate. What else? Oh, recently I've been taking this Sheila Jeet stuff. It's supposed to be like a supplement, some deficiency in your diet. I don't know. What about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think nicotine, caffeine.
Yep.
Dude, if you're taking hella supplements, here's the thing: you're probably not eating perfectly. So fix that first, then take supplements. But don't take these eyewash stuff. Don't be drinking Don't be drinking 3 bangs a day.
All right. What about you, Crampton?
I mean, in terms of supplements, I do take a multivitamin that has like vitamin A, B, C, D, zinc, calcium, and everything like that, just to try and ensure that I'm getting the natural minerals and such that my body needs. But I'm always sure to mix in a protein shake in a day, whether that's like obviously an already pre-made protein shake. I've been a big fan of the Fairlife protein shakes recently. I think they're good.
A gallon of milk has 108 grams of protein.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure if you drank a Fairlife gallon of milk, it would have even more, because they have found a natural milk supplement with protein that actually is increased in, like, I don't know if it's 12 or 16 ounces. It's 30 grams of protein.
Aren't they the ones that like abuse their cows? You saw that video? Is that Fairlife?
I have no clue what you're talking about. I don't normally keep up on those videos.
I don't know if Patrick said this, but I think fish oil is good too.
Oh, yes. I forgot to mention that. I do take omega 369 fish oils as well. Obviously, that is heart, eye, and joint healthy. And then I do take creatine occasionally. I cycle it out because, I don't think you should take it every single day of the year. But
why?
Purposely for me, I've seen some more educated people say that pitchers should take it more often than position players, because for a position player, whenever you're making like short sprints and such like that, you're relying on your creatine levels whenever you're taking creatine. But whenever you're not taking creatine, you're naturally sprinting. Like your energy levels aren't based on the creatine level. So it does affect your like sprint speed to a certain extent. That's what I've seen.
Oh, well.
And I think sometimes whenever I do take a week or so off of creatine, I do feel better, like just naturally whenever I run or stretch, roll out, just it's not as much stress on my muscles, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm not taking it right now. I'm not taking creatine right now, but I gotta be honest, I love taking it. I feel massive when I'm taking it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Justin, going back to what you said, like, first you should fix your diet before you get a gym membership, before you take supplements, before all these things. But thing is, right now, like I know, under COVID guidelines and everything, the food in my college sucks, period. And I don't get much nutritional value from it. And I think it is important that, I do take vitamins. I don't know what the absorption rate is in reality, but, if I can supplement these values, it's probably pretty important.
Yeah, but I also think that I think we do a pretty good job based on what we have. I feel like a lot of people, like 140 pounds, like asking like what supplements they should take.
That's true.
Also, I want to add to supplementation that I think a very important thing to take whenever you are supplementing and working out and such is that you drink your BCAAs. I mean, every single day you aren't going to be able to get all of those amino acids naturally, and I think that it is important that you do take those. What are you laughing at?
That's just a fire take right there.
It isn't a fire take, but it's something I didn't mention that I normally do.
Not a fire take. It's a hot take. It's a hot take.
Why is it a hot take?
I just haven't heard many people say that.
Why? I don't understand. I mean, amino acids are a natural thing that you get if you eat something. If you eat a food in each part of the food pyramid. I mean,
Justin, I want to hear what you have to say.
I just from the studies I've read, I just don't. I don't know.
You can't say that amino acids are like have a negative impact on your body. You just
probably not. That's true.
No, I'm not saying negative.
Then what?
I think the whole idea of when you work out, you should be taking BCAAs in your water. I think that's is that really necessary?
I'm just gonna say it's not. I don't think the benefits are. Like I wouldn't spend money on it.
Right.
I mean, I just use it for nutritional benefits more than anything. I mean, I don't think it's like a necessary supplement to take, like necessarily, because I mean, if you are eating well, and you should get the necessary BCAAs and your amino acids in order to do so. But at the same time, I mean, you have to get it if you're trying to be a high performance athlete and get all of those. I mean, for me personally, I try to ensure that I get all of those. I mean, I try to eat my fruits, vegetables, and everything in a day, but sometimes you're not perfect.
That's true. I mean, I don't know if I said this last episode, but when over quarantine, I ate at least a pound of beef every day. Like I'd on most days I do the steak and then some ground beef, like a package of ground beef, and I felt great. But I was also, I wasn't in school. My stress was pretty low. Probably I was getting a lot of sleep. But since I've come to college, my sleep's been probably around 8 hours on average, and my stress has been higher. But I think most of the reason I don't feel as good as when I was home is because I'm not eating that much beef. I'm probably eating like a little bit of steak per week, which the dining center gives me, and my diet's kind of trash. I think diet has so much impact on how you feel and your brain capacity and all these things.
Absolutely. Have to agree on that.
Eat steak, drink milk, drink coffee, and that's it.
Not too much coffee though.
A lot of it.
I think people sleep on the fact that sleep and nutrition are so important.
All right.
Sleep is the number one aspect in recovery. I mean, you can roll out, do whatever else. I mean, cryotherapy, you can claim anything else, but sleep is, I would say, arguably the most important.
Ergonometrics or something. What is it?
Endermology.
What? Endermology.
Endermology, yes, it's great.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, what we got next?
Do we want to call it there?
Let's go sports teams real quick.
Okay. Sports teams we like. I'll start. Philly sports. Except hockey. I mean, I don't really care about hockey. So the big three sports.
Fly Eagles fly, right?
Yep.
So they don't fly too high right now.
That was the most embarrassing end of a game I've ever watched. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, the end of the Eagles, who they played, Bengals game, that was terrible. Fire everyone. All right, you guys go.
Well, I don't really watch like NBA or any of that, but I'm a Tennessee fan for college sports and Braves fan, and yeah, whatever.
Personally, I like the Ravens and the Orioles. Unfortunately, my Orioles are not very good right now. I went to a lot of playoff games back in the day, as in like 2014, whenever we should have won the World Series, but lost to the Royals, who won it instead. Big Ravens fan as well. I actually did go to the Super Bowl that they won. That was a fun and wild experience. I'm not a big fan of the NBA, but I am a Russell Westbrook fan. I just like him. I just think that mentality-wise and as an athlete, he's great.
Where was the Super Bowl? The Ravens.
It was in New Orleans. It was in New Orleans. Oh. We played the 49ers whenever Kaepernick was their QB. I think the biggest thing I followed, though, is probably college basketball instead. I mean, I do like MLB and NFL a lot, but like I don't watch NBA as much. I usually watch college basketball, and I watch my Maryland Terps.
Hey.
And I watch them for football as well. They haven't been very good recently, but I have faith that Mike Locksley will pull in some good recruits, considering he was the Alabama offensive coordinator.
Whatever happened to that guy, Melo Trimble? He was pretty good. What happened to him?
He's playing in an Australian league right now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he made the unfortunate mistake that he waited too long to go into the draft. I think if he went into the draft as a freshman, he would have probably been a first rounder. But I think he just made the mistake that he thought that he could go 4 years, but it looked like he declined a little bit, even though he really didn't. But in terms of statistics, he did. But he was fun to watch for sure.
Right. All right. That was good. That was very good. We're gonna get probably 1 million views, maybe a little more. So I want some of you listening at home, I want you to send us questions. It can be in video format. Email it to @pattymaczachshow, or well, not at, but pattymaczachshow@gmail.com, or you can do it in the comments of this YouTube video or email
on
us.
Instagram.
Just contact us in any way possible.
Go subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Go hit us up on Spotify. Go look on Spotify. Go watch us.
Right. Subscribe on all platforms, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, all of it. Any final thoughts?
That's all I got.
Yep, that's all I got as well. See y'all next time.
All right. Peace.